Let's move into the desensitization that you talked about earlier, specifically Hollywood. They don't even pretend anymore. I don't know how
Yeah,
familiar you are. The inverted crosses, blood, devil horns, mockery of
of
Christ,
course.
actors, fashion shows that look like rituals. It's not even subtle.
So during my time in the Satanic Church, I had contact with three leaders from specifically the US, satanic organizations there. Um, Lots of the things that's playing out at the moment was on the plan and on the agenda back then already. So I'm very familiar with what's going on. Um, and like I said earlier, this is part of desensitizing people. We have to realize that we're going to be seeing more and more of those things, much more. It's going to become more blatantly in your face, and it's to make um, the works of the enemy appear innocent, like it's all fun and games and play, and it's just fantasy. And secondly, also to glorify Satan as much as possible, because they are also preparing in their mind for the rise of the Antichrist. So the more domain and territory they can take for the devil, the sooner they believe the Antichrist will rise up and will rule the earth alongside with them. That is the philosophy. Um, so yeah, that's what's going on. Um, and we have to understand that people are already hooked to social media and cell phones, and so they're utilizing the vehicles that is available as best as possible.
Mhm. Now that you've come to faith, how do you understand angels and demons compared to when you were in the occult?
Sure. So, as the Bible tells us, I that's what I believe. So I remember during my deliverance, I think this will add to the answer. I remember during my deliverance, I went through a 9 month period of deliverance because of everything that I was involved with. So during that time, my connection to the spirit world severed completely, because for almost 20 years, where I've worked for the devil, I perceived the spirit world a certain way, which was obviously deception as well. I was completely deceived on what I saw at the time. And I even saw, these beings that I thought were spirit guides and people's ancestors, etc., etc. And that was the reality for me. And then during my deliverance, this was almost 3 years ago, my connection to the spirit world severed completely. And I realized at the time that God doesn't want me to have that connection. And when I was called into this ministry just over a year ago, the one thing that I asked God was to show me what the spirit world really looks like, because I wanted to know what I perceived for 20 years, if that was actually how much of it was real. And God didn't give me immediate answer. And I went into a fast for about 5 days until God one day removed the veil for me just for a few minutes. And I saw that the spirit world is not somewhere up there on a different dimension. It's here around us, literally. So there's a constant battle going on around us between angels and demons. There is a constant battle for people's souls. And we have to understand that a third of God's angels followed Lucifer to earth. They fell to earth with Satan. Satan convinced a third of God's army to fall here to earth. And that should also indicate to us that if Satan could do that, how many people do you think he can convince to go to hell? Humans. Yeah.